And here we are. Welcome to Vata season. Oops. All right, so what is Vata? Some of you already know. If you want to go ahead and chat, you can chat away in the chat box and tell people what Vata is, but I'm going to answer that question for you also. Vata is essentially one of the three doshas in Ayurveda. If dosha is a funny sounding word to you, that's okay. That's why we're here. So the three doshas are Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. And these are the three energies that govern big, giant nature, like I'm talking all the way out into the universe and the earth and our whole bodies, all the way down to our littlest cells. Because these three doshas are made of space, air, fire, water, and earth. The three doshas are just made of them in different combinations. So specifically, we're going to be talking today about Vata dosha, which is the energy of movement. And so specifically in Vata season, the wind changes, right? Like it gets brisk, it gets windy, snow falls, it's light and cold, it's dry, it can be icy, like you get the crunchy ice. And we tend to have a lot going on in the fall with school starting and holiday and everything. So we feel like moving, okay? And Vata season is essentially fall and early winter. The qualities, this is important because the qualities of Vata are cold, dry, light, mobile, and rough. Look, I spelled it mobile and rough. Okay, so a Vata type person would be vibrant, fast-moving, creative, impatient. They'll have a small frame and thin skin. They tend to have like oval features, like an oval face, long, slender fingernails. They move fast, talk fast. They're constantly multitasking. They act before they think. So they're not going to say, let me ponder that. They're going to be like, I got an idea. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do this. Ooh, I got an idea over there too. They're storytellers, so they like to talk a lot. They are spontaneous, so they easily can fly by the seat of their pants. They learn fast and they forget just as fast. So almost in one ear and out the other. So they're like, yeah, I learned it, I got that. And if they don't make it as a consistent practice, they might forget things. Okay, that is a very, very brief overview of what Vata is and Vata type people. So people will gravitate toward one or two doshas, Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. And today we're specifically going to talk about Vata, energy in general, not even necessarily Vata people. So you might say, wait, am I a Vata? I don't know, because you're over there and I'm over here. And in order to know that, I would have to see you and know you and talk to you. But you can go ahead and take the quiz at this URL on my website if you want to go check that out and see if you are a Vata type person. But don't do that yet because we've got a whole lot of good stuff coming up. So why do we care? Why do we care about Vata energy anyways? Because Vata is involved in everything. Without Vata, Pitta and Kapha cannot move. So Vata is known as the king of the doshas because it touches on every movement of our bodies, our minds. It influences so many different things. And the most common imbalance is Vata imbalance. The degrees of how many types of, let's just call it disease, which I don't mean like chickenpox or whatever, but like imbalance will cause disease. There are different amounts of disease depending on the dosha. So Vata has the most quantity of diseases out of all the doshas. Pitta comes in second, and Kapha has very few diseases that are associated with it, with that dosha. So Vata is involved in everything, and there's the most things that can go wrong with Vata energy. And it's also easy to imbalance Vata without even realizing it. The things that we might be doing every day, little things after little things, might be building up to a Vata imbalance, and we don't even realize it because we live in a very Vata imbalancing world. The things that we do every single day that seem normal, like, we'll be on our smartphones or whatever, we'll be on our computers many hours of the day, whether it's all day long at a job, and then maybe we come home at night and we're online again, answering emails or doing whatever we want to do on computers, staying connected with people on social media. Those things are Vata imbalancing. So might not even know it. And that's why we're talking about this today, because it's important. And when I say imbalancing, a very Vata imbalancing world, check this out. All of these things can increase Vata. So we've got electronic screens, including computer, TV, pad, phones, internet, email, or IM, like constant chatter. Constant things are in front of our eyes. There is a speed and a race at which we get information and deliver information that has never been this fast ever before. And looking at the way technology is going, it's not slowing down. It's going to continue to get faster. So the best thing we can do is learn some of these things on how to slow ourselves down and connect and get back to nature. So even more, commuting, TV, work overload, too much work. If we're overscheduled, racing from here to there, like we've got a wall-to-wall schedule, an unreliable schedule, like our days change one day from the next, and there's no solid grounding in our schedule, that can imbalance Vata. We might be under-rested, not getting enough sleep, undernourished, perhaps not eating the right foods for our body, multitasking, coffee and sugar overload, buzz. How many Starbucks are there in the world? A lot. Too much cardio. Maybe we're moving our bodies too fast. Low quality sleep. So maybe we're sleeping, but it's kind of garbagey. We might live far away from friends and family, which creates a loneliness and a Vata imbalance. Where's our ground? Air travel. Woo, way up in air and space. So Vata is made, remember I told you it was made of the elements, is made of air and space. So it's very light, it's very high up in the sky. And we go into an airplane and we go flying around, we travel fast and we're way up high in the sky. It can be imbalancing. Eating on the go, cold or raw foods, icy and fizzy drinks, to name a few. All of these things increase Vata. Is that bad? Well, kinda, yeah. Because when Vata is too high, these things might show up, or these things might get worse. These are a snippet of Vata imbalances that we might experience. So we've got all things like in the head, like heady problems, right? Anxiety, worry, panic, memory loss, lack of confidence, mood swings, racing mind, uncertainty, feelings of instability or ungroundedness, and loneliness. People who have too high of Vata can be sick and suffer from a low immunity. They can get sick often because they don't have that structure holding them together. Feeling weak in the body or the mind, weakness or fatigue, easy fatigue is a good sign that Vata is too high. Constipation, gas pains, bloating, cramps, distension, any of those things that feel really uncomfortable in our guts, like maybe sharp stabbing pains or puffy bloated, yeah, that's also Vata. Air and space is in there, right? Too much. Muscle twitches, energy of movement, and stiff muscles. Insomnia. We might wake up in the middle of the night unable to go back to sleep because Vata energy, the energy of movement, is so much in us that we can't go back to sleep. We might have trouble concentrating, might find we have dry skin. Pain anywhere is caused by Vata. If there's pain, Vata's involved somehow. Might get headaches, poor circulation, or feel like a constant cold. Like if you ever really get like icy fingers and toes, or icy little nose, a nose-sickle, it's because we're too cold. We can also feel frozen when we're overwhelmed. When there's too much to do, have you ever felt like that? I totally have. When you're like, oh, there's so much to do, I actually can't do anything, right? So these are a few of the things, and then we feel like crap. So it's good to know when we feel like crap, because that means something is wrong and we need to fix it. Yeah. So why do we get these problems? Why are all of these symptoms a factor of Vata that is too high? Well, remember the qualities? Cold, dry, light, mobile, and rough. It's because those have increased. And so when there's Vata energy and Vata season, so the two of them put together, can any of you in the chat box, can you tell me what that equals? What is Vata energy plus Vata season amount to? If there's any guesses, I would love to see it. All right, I'm going to tell you. Vata energy plus Vata season equals more Vata. Yes, too much of the same qualities, says Tara. That's right. Because in Ayurveda, like increases like. And we end up with so much Vata that it's gone to an unhealthy state. And when the doshas are too high, we get imbalanced. That's right, Diane, imbalance. Okay. And then what happens? So Vata gets too high, and then we get imbalance. And then here we go. Here's our list of stuff again. We get all these things. We get all these problems. We feel bad because Vata's too high. So it's Vata season. Vata energy rules fall and early winter, as I said. And we are ruled by nature. So Ayurveda says that we are made of the same 5 things, like I alluded to in the beginning: space, air, fire, water, earth, as nature, as the great universe, and everything around us. So because we're tinier than like the wind, and we're tinier than the thunderstorms, and we're tinier than the snowstorms, we are going to be influenced by its bigness. Okay? And so we're going to be influenced by the bigness, and we're ruled by nature. It's our boss. So what we try and do is figure out, what do I need to do in this season to keep me balanced? Because I know if I walk around with a shower cap over my head with snow coming out of it in a snowstorm, I'm just going to get more snow, right? Like increases like. Okay, so remember, cold, dry, light, mobile, and rough. Those things, if like increases like, we're going to use the opposite qualities to stay balanced. So we're going to be warm. We are going to be moist or wet. We're going to want to be heavy. We're going to gravitate towards stillness and smoothness as the things that we use to keep ourselves healthy. And you're like, oh my God, but I do all these things because that's our life, right? You're like, I do all of these things. Oh my God. Well, yes, that's why we live in a very Vata imbalancing world. So that's why this is important to talk about. And the other thing is, breathe easy. There's no judging. This is the way that we live. It's quite different than when Ayurveda started 5,000 years ago. Yeah, it's not the same, but the tools are the same, and our beings are the same, and we'll respond the same. Okay, so we just have to be able to adjust to the way we live now. And don't worry, because this next part will help you. All right, how to balance Vata. I'm going to give you an overview here, and then we're going to go through each one of them together. So how to balance Vata: warm grounding foods, oils in the food and on the skin, reliable schedule, 8 hours of sleep, no screens, 60 to 90 minutes before bed, warm bath and steam, breathe, and exercise. All right, so first one is how to balance Vata. You're going to have warm, grounding, saucy, and goopy foods instead of having anything that's cold or rough, or like cold raw salads, or even sushi. Heck, sometimes when I have sushi when it's really cold outside, it's no good for my digestion. I get bloated right away. So soups, stews, rice dishes, anything that has sauce on it, anything that's goopy is going to help us digest things better. And we always need to include healthy oils. So when we eat healthy oils, it creates that unctuousness inside of us, because remember, Vata is dry and rough. And oil is not. It's wet and it's smooth. Yeah, so we want to use those healthy oils, will help us stay balanced. Diane says her favorite is baked squash. So good. Which brings up a good point. Right now, especially in the farmers markets and pumpkin patches and everywhere, is root vegetables and squashes. And all of those things come from the ground, which is good for Vata because Vata is way up in the air. Yeah. And so when we have those foods, they're perfectly in season and they're perfectly good for us. And so we should have more of those things and less of the, less of tomatoes, cucumbers, lettuces, things that you find in summer. No strawberries right now, no blueberries right now, unless you live in a place where they grow all year round. Then you're eating along with nature because the climate matches the food. But if you're in a place like where Diane is, she's in Wisconsin, and she's having squash this time of year, that's perfect because it is going to get very cold in Wisconsin. As opposed to me being in California, it doesn't get that cold here. Yeah. And so strawberries can grow here all year round. Does that make sense? Okay. So seasonal, it's important to eat seasonally. And in Vata season, promoting those grounding comfort foods. Like who likes to sit down with a nice bowl of like veggie chili or something like that before you're going to watch a football game, or you do make the stews, or you make the really warm, heavy meals. When you think about winter in the traditional sense, we think about heavier meals that have a lot to them. It makes us feel comfortable, comfort foods. Somebody who is taking the class of mine gave me a tip, and she likes to take her individual crock pot to work full of all the good stuff so the crock pot can cook all morning long, and she's got a hot, wonderful meal ready for her there. So that is a fun tip that actually came from one of you. I thought it was too good to keep to myself. So individual crock pots, yes, they do have them. Amazing. Okay. Oils in food and on the skin is super important. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about an oil massage. And you're probably like, really, dude? Like, I don't have time to do an oil massage. You might have more time than you think. So in traditional Ayurveda, it's called abhyanga, which is that funny little word right there, starting with an A. Abhyanga. And in traditional Ayurveda, it is four-handed massage. So you get two people massaging on you with warm oil, and it's like a blanket of awesome. And all the body feels like it's all going back in the right places, muscles relax, everything. And while they're doing this, they're running over points in the body called marma points. Marma points are similar to acupuncture points, right? Because even in Ayurveda, they say we have channels that go from the top of our head all the way through and down through our feet. So when we're doing massage, we are opening those channels, removing any clogs, correcting the flow of Vata energy, right? Because Vata is the energy of movement. So it's going to move. It moves our blood. It moves our circulation. It moves our muscles. It moves all of these things. Sometimes when Vata's in balance, it goes rogue and it does all crazy things. Like that's when you might get diarrhea. Or might stop. That's when you might get constipation. So that's a sign that Vata's not moving in the right direction. Warm oil massage helps that. It's good for a few reasons. When you put warm oil on the skin and the sense of touch is one of the vehicles of healing that Ayurveda uses. So we use the five senses to keep us balanced. And when we put warm, grounding oil on skin that is thin, light, and dry, it is like heaven. And our skin goes, oh, thank you. And it sends a signal to our whole body, hey, we're getting nourished. This is awesome. And the whole being calms down because through our senses, like if somebody went like this, well, that's not nice. Your whole body goes, hey, what's that all about? But the sense of having warm oil on our bodies goes, oh, I'm being taken care of. And you can do that for yourself. So self-massage starts from the toes and goes all the way to the head. The tip is strokes go toward the heart and clockwise around the joints. I'm going to demo on my arm. Okay, you're going to have your warm oil. How do you warm up the oil? You can do a couple different things. If you have time, you can take a plastic bottle, fill it with almond oil. Is good for Vata Pitta. Sesame oil is great for Vata. Sunflower oil is great for Kapha. Or kapha might not need any oil at all, but in Vata season, this would be the time that they would use an oil massage. Take a little bottle, fill it with your oil, and you can put it, like float it in a pan with boiling water or very hot water, and just let it sit there for a little bit until it heats up, and they take it out and it should be nice and warm. Or you can put the oil directly in the pan, but be very careful because it can burn. Don't ask my husband about a story when I was like, hey, do you want a massage? And there was like hot sizzling oil in a pan. Of course, I didn't use it, but I was like, I can put some other stuff on here to make it cool down. He's like, no, thank you. So be careful with your oils, but what you're going to do is this can ideally do it in the morning or before a shower, or you could do it at night before a shower or a bath also. Warning, it does get on the bottom of your shower or your bathtub, so it can be a little bit slippery. So just mind that, okay? So you are going to put the oil on from toe to head, like I said. And when you do your strokes, pretend this can be my leg, this could be my arm, but you're going to do pressure. Okay, so you're going to put your warm oil on. Pressure. Release. Pressure. Release. Pressure. You got that? Release. And then you're going to go clockwise around the joints. Yeah? I've now turned to putty. I'm just kidding. That's how you do it. And you can do it through the whole, but you don't have to overthink it. But it should probably take about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to get all the oil on your body. If you don't have the luxury of time to sit, we're supposed to sit with the oil on us for 10 minutes before jumping into the shower or the bath to shower and wash it off. Why do we wash it off? Because it has soaked in as much as it's going to soak in those 5 to 10 minutes. And it has also pulled out some toxins from the skin. And so we want it off of our skin. And with that, your skin will still be baby soft. I promise. It's so nice. If you don't have time for that whole thing, you can put oil on the bottoms of your feet before bed with some socks. That is awesome. Or you can just do an light oil massage before you go to work or whatever. Anyways, getting oil on your skin is really important. And we already talked about oil in the food. So oil on the skin, oil in the belly, amazing, so good. And Wendy is giving credit to her sister Kim for the individual crock pot. Are they both taking the class? I think Wendy and Kim and somebody else, all three of them are taking the class together. It's so sweet. Does soap wash all the oil off? It kind of does, but that's why, because you want to get rid of the any toxins that you've pulled from it. Personally, I kind of let it pat. I kind of let it sit. I like that. But traditionally, you're supposed to vigorously wash it off. Okay. And you'll still get the nourishment because you were supposed to be sitting there for a while it soaks in. If you don't have the luxury of time, what benefits me? I put it on, I go take my shower, and I pat. Okay. A reliable schedule. With overscheduling and overwork and all of these things, our day can really, really vary. And one of the things that really helps Vata is to have a consistent, reliable schedule with really good habits put in there. So building a reliable schedule builds and holds the structure. Remember, Vata is very free, moves around a lot. Its nature is to move. But too much of that movement is going to create some of those mental things that we talked about. Yeah, the anxiety, the worry, the panic, the where's my grounding? What can I expect next? I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, 4 hours have gone by and I don't know what I've done. I spent some time on Facebook and that's all I know I did, because the schedule's not there to hold us in a place. One of my biggest tips for Vata, and especially as the holidays come creeping, is we need a reliable schedule so that we can actually feel more free. When we're held into a place where we know what to expect and what to do, we can perform those things and we can look back on the day and we go, oh, hey, I did some stuff. And now I feel free, and now I got the whole night to do whatever I want. So you can schedule in your free time too. You can maybe your whole night is free. Maybe after 5:30, you do nothing but be free. That's pretty good, right? Because you spent the whole day doing the schedule. So I'm going to make a note for myself to send you after this webinar. I'll send you the daily routine just in case you don't have it. The Ayurvedic daily routine, which is a reliable schedule in accordance with nature. So it's not just any old schedule. It's a really good Ayurvedic schedule. I'll send that to you. Okay, here's my tip. Plug in the things you love and look forward to, because you're never going to stick to a schedule if you hate it. So there might be not so enjoyable things throughout the day that you just need to do to get done. Put that on there and then put a reward right after it. It's like training a puppy. Here, you got to do this thing. Oh, good for you. Yeah. So that your schedule becomes this thing that you look forward to. And when you look at your calendar, you're like, hot dog, I'm going to go do all these things today. And I'm going to feel really good at 5 or 5:30 when I'm done. And then I got all the free time in the world. And that is going to keep us from flying away like a kite without a string, or sitting there just going like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know any of these things. So a reliable schedule. And I wrote it down that I will send you the daily routine link after this. Okay. 8 hours of sleep. Do you remember when I had that big list up and it said like, it said not enough sleep, not enough rest? This is one of the easiest ways to imbalance Vata, is with not enough sleep and not enough quality sleep. So the biggest tip that a lot of you already know, and you might already be practicing, is bed by 10 o'clock. Yeah, because the energy of kapha, which is slow, heavy energy, puts us to sleep before 10. And if we stay up past 10, the energy of pitta kicks in, which is transformation energy. And our mind keeps going and our thoughts keep going because it's supposed to be doing that while we're asleep. Okay, but instead we're awake and Pitta is doing its thing, and then we're like, I got a second wind, and it keeps us up. It's very important to get 8 hours of sleep, and you will find that if that's hard for you to do now, if you have a reliable schedule, you will find that 8 hours of sleep. Vata people, not just Vata energy, but Vata type people need the most sleep of all the doshas. Pittas need a moderate amount of sleep, and kaphas need least amount of sleep, right? Because it's a slowness, it's a quietness, and it's a rest. And Vatas crave that. They need to be rejuvenated. They need that rest. For kaphas, if they sleep too much, if they get too much sleep, it's too heavy, it's too dark, it's too much of that rest. They need to get invigorated. Okay, so Vatas, get your sleep. And if you're feeling Vata wacky, Vata imbalanced, don't be afraid to get more sleep. It's extra dark in Vata season also. So we have dark mornings and we have dark evenings. The sun sets at like 4:30 in some places. It's setting us up for rest. By design, maybe? Because of nature? Could be. Lots of sleep. Not lots of sleep, a good amount of high quality sleep. Okay. No screens 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Here comes that schedule again. So a lot of us, how many of you have your stuff on your phone or you're on social media, on computer? I know we all are. And then there's favorite TV shows and all of these things that we do, and we spend our nights, you know, enjoying these things or playing games or whatever it is that we're doing, but there's a limit to that because the screen itself is very Vata imbalancing. It's a lot for our eyes to digest, and especially with all of these things coming at us in an artificial way, it can increase Vata because we might feel a sense of loneliness on Facebook. We might be missing all of those people, or we feel a sense of inadequacy because we're saying what other people are doing. We're not doing those things. Like I feel sad and I feel inadequate, and then I feel depressed, and it can bring about sad emotions. Plus things are coming to us at the speed of light. We're feeling like we need to respond, and doesn't time seem to it just goes because our mind's not in it and it's artificial. Like this thing, look, I'm going to flick you. I flicked you. If you were really sitting across from me and I flicked you in the head, we'd both be laughing really, really hard. But I flicked you on the computer screen and it's just a screen, right? So it's a false thing. And to pour our actual life and body and soul into that thing leaves us feeling a little empty, a little light. So turn it off. Nourish yourself with something else. A telephone call would be better to one of those people, or call me. I don't care. I got plenty of time. But call somebody. Do something that makes you feel nourished. Sit down with your partner and have a good chat instead of zoning out into the TV, unless it's that Caribbean HD TV show, which is kind of fun. But just turn it off before bed. Okay. Tip: set an alarm on your phone. Ding, ding. Okay, it's time to wind down now. You might put that on your phone 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night. You're done on the screens. Turn them off, because chances are you've been on them all day too. If you're not spending your entire day on the computer screen, it's a little bit better for you, to be on it a little bit at night. But if you spend the whole day and you spend the whole night on the screen, our eyes even look funny. They get buggy like the next day. Like if I'm working late, if I work all day and then I come back and I do, share my Ayurvedic stuff or whatever, and I've stayed up too much on the computer, I get bags, I get wrinkles, I look puff. It's no good. And then I got to try and figure out my Ayurvedic skincare routine and try and fix it, which it doesn't always, but I'll tell you what, when we were on vacation this summer, and I didn't spend hardly any time on the computer, and we were just out in Truckee in Tahoe, and we spent a lot of time outside, I looked younger. Maybe vacation also does that because I'm not sitting like this at the screen, squinting. Steven, I saw you on there. Steven was asking me once about, he's like, what's this going on here? I'm like, well, you probably sit like that all day because we're squinting at the screen or whatever. Okay, warm bath, steam, hot tub, get in warm water. Wet plus heat is great for Vata. We take our little Vatas, we're gonna put them in a steam room. That's awesome. If you don't have luxury of having a steam room in your house, then you can steam up the whole bathroom first. Not in California because we have a drought. But if you don't live in California, use your water and steam up the bathroom. So that's nice and steamy. And then you go in that cozy shower and make sure the water is not too hot, because when the water is too hot, it's actually very drying. So picture this. You do your Ayurvedic massage while the steam is all getting good in the bathroom. Yeah, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes to get a steam bathroom. You got your own massage. You're sitting there breathing. You got the oil on. So nice, so nice. You go take a shower, turn the water down so it's not scalding hot, and you wash it off. That, whoa, would be so good for Vata balancing, especially in Vata season. If you were to do that in Pitta season when it's summer and it's 85 degrees, you would hate it. There's a reason for the season. Okay, tip. Drip some lavender aromatherapy. It's very calming for Vata. Also is like patchouli, frankincense, and let it steam up. And if you get sniffles, like we tend to do in Vata season or the change of season, Shelly's excited to shower tomorrow. Whoop, whoop. If you get the sniffles, if you get the sniffles, you can use eucalyptus drops, which I do all the time for myself if I get the sniffles, and specifically for my daughter. She doesn't feel good. We're like dropping the eucalyptus drops in the shower, letting it steam up as much as we can. And then I also have a little aromatherapy, what do you call it? I don't know. It's a round thing with lights, and it has steam that comes out of it. And I put that in her room at night. So there's a tip for you if you get any sinus stuff. Interesting thing about sinus problems too is sometimes it's created because of too much dryness, because the body is trying to overcompensate. It's like, rush in the snot, bring in the mucus. This is dry here. And you get clogs and mucus and an overabundance of kapha, because the body said, there's too much Vata. See? The body knows what to do. It's trying to fix the problem, but then we end up with a different problem. So if we get too dry, we can end up with a snotty problem. Okay? Cool. Yes, diffuser. Thank you, Shelly. That's what I meant. Okay. Breathing. How many of you, show me your hands, sit down and breathe for 5 to 10 minutes a day? And that's all you do. You don't do anything else. I mean, you just sit with your eyes closed. How many? Oh, Angie, right on. Angie, raise her hand. Anybody else? Yeah. It seems too simple to work. We're like, duh. Oh, yes, Tara, 30 minutes a day. Well done. It seems too too simple to work because we're like, dude, we breathe all the time. I'm always breathing. I don't know why I got to sit and take time to breathe. We do, because the two channels through the nose are the closest passageways to the mind. And so when we calm our breath down, we are giving a big signal to the body like, hey, everything's okay. Hey, everything is okay. It's letting the mind settle down. I like to use the example of a snow globe. I think some of you have heard me say this before. It's when you take a snow globe and you shake it and the stuff all flurries around, right? That's our mind most of the time. And when we do meditation, it allows the settling to happen. Or if you're like in a lake and you're stirring up the bottom with your feetsies, and it gets all mucky, and then you wait a little bit, and all of a sudden you can see your feet again because the water's clear. That's what breathing does for us. Sitting and closing our eyes can just clear everything. One of my favorites is Soham. 10 minutes a day if you can. When we sit in Soham, we inhale and think so. When we exhale, we think hum. And Soham means, anybody gonna chat? The meaning of Soham? Soham means I am that. Soham means I am. Hum means that. Or I am the divine. Yes, I am that. Yes, I am. That's right. And so it's essentially filling our bodies and minds with everything that I have, everything that I need is right here. I got this. And I'm a divine being. And I have faith in the divine and I have faith in myself, and all is well. All is well. So hum, so hum. Okay. For 10 minutes a day. And a tip. This helps insomnia in a pinch. Ooh, I should send you the insomnia video also. Have you seen the insomnia video? I touched 3 parts on my head, specifically for insomnia. If we're lying awake and we can't fall asleep, or if we've fallen asleep and then wake back up and we can't get back to sleep, there are 3 points on the head. I guess I could just show them to you right now. If you put your, okay, here are my ears. My ears, right? And we're going to trace all the way up to the top of my head in a straight line. So it's like right here. Or you can do the 8 fingers. It's going to be the same. I wish you could see it. Okay, so I'm going to put my pinky by my eyebrows. And there's 4 fingers. And there's 4 fingers. I'm going to take my finger. Boop. There's 1 point. Point 1. And clockwise circles. 30 minutes or 30 seconds to a minute. Can you imagine 30 minutes? You'd be like, 30 seconds to a minute, go around. Okay. And then you can also do spot on your ears, and there's a flat spot like on the back of your head back here. I'll also send you the video because I think I did a better job of it in there. But there's a flat spot on the back of your head. That's another one. And then where the base of your neck meets, or the base of your head meets the base of your neck, there's like an indent. That's another one. And for each one of them, you go clockwise for 30 seconds to a minute. And I've done this on my daughter too. Ooh, I arm her with warm milk and nutmeg. And then I do the 3 spots and she sleeps. So to go along with that, and then Soham, ooh, you'd be out in a flash. So you can take warm milk and you just put a little nutmeg in it, drink it up like a little more milk, not too much. That will help put you to sleep. Do the 3 points. That will help you to sleep. And while that's working for you, you can lay on your right side and you can do Soham. And that will put you to sleep. And when you do Soham before bed, you wake up totally refreshed. Okay, cool. Yes, you can do it to other people. It's kind of fun. It's magical. Okay, also to include Vata balancing exercise. Okay, 2 feet on the ground for Vata balancing exercise. Somebody asked me if they could do a stationary bike, and I suppose that would be fine, but the body is still moving. The body is still moving, right? Depending on how you go. If it's a tough trek with a bike, that's better because we want to work on strength for Vata. So strength training, yoga, ballet bar, Pilates, and walking. Strength training because Vatas tend to be light and kind of spindly. So anything we can do to bring tone and strength to their muscles, but don't forget about flexibility. That's why I love yoga for Vatas, because they have to use their own body strength to keep themselves in the poses. It's an internal massage, so it helps Vata go in the right direction. It helps our insides, right? And 2 feet on the ground. And it also is flexible. So we're not brittle, we're not tight, we're not dry. We are fluid. And if anything, Vatas need to be fluid. Yeah. All of these things are great exercises for Vata. We are not running marathons in the winter. We are not doing bouncy jazzercise. That's the little thing in the winter, right? We're bringing it down. We're bringing it slow. You could, I suppose, you could go swimming if the water's warm enough, like indoor pool, something like that with warm water. That would also work for Vata. A tip: whatever it is you're doing, if it's not one of these things, then you can get closer to doing Vata balancing exercise by putting your mind into your workout. It will strengthen your mental focus. Instead of just being like, blah, 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 talking to your friend or whatever while you're running, or talking to your friend while you're walking, you can think about how you're moving your body and think about working those muscles and think about how you're holding your poses. It's going to bring a centeredness, a groundedness, and a focus that is very balancing for Vata. Okay, are you ready? Here is your Vata balancing challenge. Are you ready for challenge? I hope so. You're going to choose 1 or 2 of these that you're going to work on this week. And you can keep working on them for all of Vata season if you want to. Or you can add more as you get good in the first ones. Pick some other ones. Here is the list: how to balance Vata. Warm and grounding foods, oils in food and on the skin, a reliable schedule, 8 hours of sleep, no screens on 60 to 90 minutes before bed, warm bath, steam, breathe, and exercise for Vata balancing. No more podcasts or music during exercise. I mean, here's the truth. Like, if you're doing something that's fun or in video and, fun during exercise, you can, but notice if your Vata is imbalanced or not. Hey, sometimes we need invigoration, right? If we're feeling stagnant, or if working out is just no fun without some tunes or a podcast that fuels your soul, fuels your spirit, if you feel well-rounded, if you feel good, do it. It's if you notice any of those Vata problems happening and you're like, well, I'm working out like crazy. I'm actually running faster than I should be because the music's so great. Like, it's really, really good and I just can't stop. It increases that, So if you can, be very present in what you're doing, even if you're present with the music and even if you're present with your movements, right? Hearing is also a therapy. So music is great. Podcasts, like I said, that fuel you with something great, new learnings or positivity or whatever it is, great and fine. Just pay attention, see if your Vata's going all whack. And if it is, have you tried all these things? Maybe that's the last thing you try. If you love that. I'm not here to take anything away that you love. I'm here to give you more good things that you can try. Okay, so, and Diana has a question: how long does Vata season last? Vata season lasts until about midwinter. So specifically when there's like 2 parts to winter, right? So the beginning part is when you feel, beginning part of Vata season, I should say, is when the winds change, the leaves start falling off the trees and turning colors. You're left with sticks on the trees. You get light snowfall. You get super crunchy ice. You may get those sub-zero temperatures that are so bitter, brittle, cold. They dry your snot. It's cold. And then you have the second part of winter, which is the damp snow, the heavy snow. It might like rain, ice, and it's more humid instead of dry. That becomes Kapha season. So late winter and into spring is Kapha season, when things get damper and heavier. Yeah? Okay, pick one of these. Which one are you going to try? Which one do you want to try? Or which 2 do you want to try? Go ahead and look and see if there's anything on here that you're not doing yet. Go ahead and bring it in. These are important for Vata season, even if you don't know a lick about Ayurveda. Okay, what will you work on? Chat it to me if you want to, if you're inspired to share, because you're not going to be the only one doing this. Everybody's in it together. Okay. Hey, Before we go into Q&A, I want to tell you a couple things. I got some gifts on the way. There is a brand new. All right, Shelly's going to try no screens and breathing. Diana's going to try breathing and oils in the foods. All right. I got some gifts for you on the way. Vata Seasonal Bloom, for those of you that don't know about my seasonal blooms, they are seasonal guides. This one is going to be about 13, 15 pages. So that is going to be sent to you. And I'm going to send you a Vata Seasonal playlist, which was starting at the beginning of this webinar if you were hanging out. And I'm also going to send you the recording of this. You can have this. So that's great. And I'll send you a couple links too that I think would be useful just based on our topic today. But if you want any more of this, I do have a course. It's called Create Your Best Life. It's 6 weeks. It's where you essentially learn all the basics of Ayurveda and you plug it into your own life and you create your own Ayurvedic plan. Wendy is in this right now. Wendy's doing so great. I see her questions. I see her comments. It's on an open forum where I answer all the questions. So it's based on my book, In Your Elements, which is also a workbook. If you don't have it, you might love it. And you will learn all of these things. You'll learn an Ayurvedic foundation, which you can use forever. It's all about you. You'll learn your dosha discovery. The format is really similar to this. I kind of talk the same way. So if you like the way I teach and you're learning some things, great, you're gonna like this too. It's more of the same. So you're gonna build an Ayurvedic nutrition plan for yourself. There will be a daily routine and optimal health for optimal health and happiness. You're gonna plug that routine right in there. I promise I'll send you the link for that after this too, so you can get a full scope and see what that is. You'll learn preventative habits to avoid getting sick in the first place and understand a little bit more about why our immunity gets low and why some people get sick more often. And you'll be able to avoid those things and make choices so that you're building yourself up. You'll have tools to uncover the root or cause of imbalance so that you can avoid getting sick in the future. Look, we're all going to get sick at some point, but where it becomes really powerful, Ayurveda does, is when we can go, oh, that's why I got sick. And in the future, your sickness doesn't last as long. It doesn't hit you as hard, and you don't have to miss as many days of work and feel like total crud cakes for way too long. Okay, so that's in this too. We'll have some simple home remedies, tips to using Ayurveda easily in our fast-paced world, which we kind of talked about a little bit here, but you'll get even more of that. And then at the end, you're going to create your customized Ayurvedic plan. Some of you on this call were on the original 6-week course that I did back in January. And we did the whole thing live, and it was great. It was so much fun. We had chats back and forth. But what was difficult a little bit about that was that it was hard to get all of our butts in the chair at the same time to coordinate all that. We've got busy lives. You saw the list in the beginning of this thing. Like, we're running around doing all kinds of things. We got, everybody's got a different schedule. So while that was great, it was challenging. So this is all recorded. You can go at your own pace. It never expires, so you can do it and you can come back and you can do it again the next year or in 6 months when you feel like you need a reset. You can have it forever. So here's what you get: all the stuff, 6-week course. I'll sign your book and ship it to you. You'll get an ebook, you get worksheets, you get a journal, you get customized dosha tips, inspirations, and art, and all of your questions answered on the forum. And I do answer personal questions to the best of my ability over the forum, with the caveat that if I don't know you as a person, it's hard for me to diagnose exactly what's going on. But what I can do is ask you personalized questions so you can begin to unravel things for yourself. Truth is, you know yourself better than anybody, better than I ever will, better than a doctor will, better than any of that stuff. But what I can do is help you get to the root problem, and you can figure that out. And so we work together in that way. It's really cool. So check this out. So last January, the course was $197. Like I said, it was super fun, but this one is also $197. It will never expire. You can review it again and again. The signed book is a value of $37. The ebook is a value of $19. And I will give it all to you for $197, but I'm giving you a discount today because you are close to my hearts and souls. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're learning more about Vata because it's important. And our lives are important, and I'm proud of you that you're here. And so for today, we will do a special 127. Woohoo! Oh, snap! All that for 127. If you haven't signed up, it's an awesome class. I think Wendy can vouch. for it too. She's having a good time. She's learning lots. And so are so many other people. So if you like that, let me just share. I'm going to grab the link so you can see. Yay, Angie says it's a steal. It's a steal. There's the link. I'll also send it in the follow-up note to you with all the goody good stuff. It's really fun. It's a great flexible course, and it's all on you. I even had one lovely student that wrote to me, and she's like, I love the Ayurvedic rules. Slowly we make the changes. And she said, so I'm slowly going through the course. I've had it for 2 weeks now, but I'm just going to take my time. I'm still on week 1 and I'm working on my stuff. And I was like, that is so awesome. So she's learning all kinds of things. So I would love to have you in class. Go ahead and sign up for the course. It's 127. There's so many good things in it. I will take good care of you. And by the way, as I add more things, I might throw in some extra videos and things. You'll get those things for forever too. So happy, happy little bundle. I just want you to have it. Okay, hit me with your questions. Who's got Vata questions? We've got about 5 minutes or so left. If questions are all rolling and crazy, we can go a little bit over. But thank you for being here. Like you make my days, you make my nights. The reason why I do this is so that I can share this with you and I can help you live a better life. Because I think the way I deliver this is pretty unique and it excites me to no end. So thank you for being here. Yeah, if you've got any questions, George is saying make sure to send to everyone. I was doing that on a webinar call at work and I was only responding to one person and she was like in Chicago and I kept sending her all these private messages and I was like, how come my chat's not showing up for the whole company? And it was like, oh, because I'm just pinging her. That was kind of weird. Let's see. Amy asked, is there a cheap way to take care of your skin, like skin routine? Oh, yes. And you also need to write this down. There's a book called Absolute Beauty, and it's by Pratima Raichur, and it is a very beautiful Ayurvedic book, totally focused on skincare. She gives ideas for different like face scrubs and oils, aromatherapies. She does the whole way. So a cheap way to take care of your skin would be to, there's one part of it called Garshana, which means exfoliate, lightly exfoliate. So you lightly exfoliate your skin. You probably could just use a washcloth depending on your skin. Vatas don't need a whole lot of exfoliation because they have very thin skin. Too much pulling on Vata skin is going to hurt, turn them red, and it will create dryness, which is no good. Pitta skin also will get red and sensitive and irritated. Bye, Lynn. Thank you. Kapha skin is more, it's more supple. It's thicker, so they can handle a little bit more of invigoration. So anyways, first you'll do a little bit of exfoliating, then you'll do a wash. Doesn't have to be anything crazy or fancy. And then I would just put almond oil on it. If you're using a different kind of moisturizer or body butter, Life Spa, Dr. John Douillard has Life Spa. If you go there.com, there's a whole skin line that's awesome. The body butter is phenomenal, and so is the little facial moisturizer drops. I wish I could run to my closet and go get them, but that's going to take too much time. So there is Ayurvedic skincare, and that's awesome. I really like that line. I also like Pratima's book, and I also like Simply Divine Botanicals. Go to that website and check it out too. Really nice skin stuff. Let's see. Meredith Bloom. Hi, Meredith. You made it. I'm so glad. Okay, should we take a break for the winter? We're about to go in the cold and feeling cold and wet from the pool. Well, we're in the Bay Area. It's not like he's going out when it's 20. When I used to have like basketball practice when I was a freshman in high school, I used to just wear shorts and I would sweat like crazy and then run out to the car and just wear shorts when it was like 5 degrees. That's no good. No, I think he should be fine. If the pool is warm and he's liking it and he's feeling good, he's not having any constipation or irritability, he's sleeping fine, all of that, I think it should be okay. I think it should be okay, depending how cold it is. Yeah, let's see. What is the doctor's name and brand? I have the book. Excellent. Oh, the doctor's name is Dr. John Douillard, and the brand is Life Spa. And if you want Pratima's, hers is Pratima Skincare. Pratima Skincare, and she's in New York. Okay, what are healthy oils to use in food? Really good. You're welcome, Meredith. Really great answer. So you can use coconut oils. Ghee is my favorite. It has a really high smoke point and it actually stokes our digestive fire. That's really good. You can stir fry stuff in it too. It doesn't ever burn. You can also sneak it into cookies or muffins or something. It might be a little bit soft, but delicious. I've made, in my book, I have a recipe for ginger snaps that I snuck ghee into instead of like Crisco. You can also use flaxseed oil, but don't cook that stuff. Just drizzle it over vegetables or something. Got a really nutty flavor. Olive oil. I could bathe in that stuff. Olive oil is so good. Like we don't have to overthink, you know, even sesame oil, the toasted, okay now, the toasted sesame oil in the little bottle is very different than the sesame oil you would use on your skin. The sesame oil you use on your skin is in a big jar and it's in the oil section in the grocery store. The toasted sesame oil is the stuff in the Asian section that smells like toasted nuts. All right, I'm being mindful. We have 1 minute left. Cool. So let's see. Oh, George put the link in there for the book too. Good question about spicy, Angie. Did I miss Angie's spicy question? Oh, for Vata dosha, pungent as a reducer or avoid, is it okay to use spicy? Great question. The pungent spice in general is heating and scraping. A little bit of it is okay for Vata because they need the stoke of fire to make their Agni grow bigger, which is their digestive fire. But if Vatas have too much pungent, it's going to scrape away their tissues. And Vatas need to be built. So it's going to irritate the tissues and scrape them away, which we don't want to do for Vata. Kaphas all day long with the spices. Sure, spice it up. They've got a lot of tissues that can and should be scraped to keep them healthy so they don't overbuild themselves. Vatas are they don't need that. But they need a little bit of stoking for Agni. So a little bit of spice is okay, mildly spicy. That is awesome. So you guys, thank you. It is 1 minute after the hour. Does anybody else have any other questions? I'm happy to squeeze in one more here. If not, also think about, you know, you could also think about if somebody else that you know would love the course for like holiday or something, dude, snap it up now. We could do that too. That's also an idea. Or get a bunch of ladies together or your dude friends or whatever. I'm excited that you can have that for that price. So to continue our conversation, you can find me at heymonicab.com. You can find me on Facebook. Tell all your friends to come to the Facebook page. Let's have a big old party over there. You can go find me on Vimeo, or you can find me on YouTube. Like I said, I like Vimeo better, but gotta be on the YouTubes. I just think it's a little weird looking. Anyway, and I also have my book, In Your Elements. You can find it on Amazon, and the 6-part course. Let's grow this thing. Let's share it with more people. I want to tell as many people about it as I can. So would love your help on that. If you know anybody that could be interested in this, tell them about me, tell them about my stuff so that we can make the world a better place. Thank you so much. Mwah. Thank you, Stephen. No, you're the best. And I will follow up, as I promised, with some special goodies and the recording of this so you can have it. And you all have a good night. Thank you.